Priya is 19 years old and already a widow. Today, not even her secluded garden is safe from the violence that is ripping through eastern Sri Lanka. In February, 6 armed assassins came here looking for her husband. Priya's husband was once a Tamil Tigers soldier. The Tigers, one of the world's best trained and best resourced guerrilla armies, are now being targeted for assassination by shadowy paramilitary groups.
Are you ready to fight against?
These dangerous new paramilitaries are being formed by Tamils who have split away from the Tigers. There are rumors that these new rebels are being supported by the Sri Lankan government and used as a clandestine army to fight against the Tigers. A fragile ceasefire has held in Sri Lanka since 2002, but paramilitary attacks like the one on Priya's husband are now threatening to destroy any hope for peace on the island. After more than 2 decades of brutal civil conflict, the 2002 ceasefire divided Sri Lanka into major zones of control, with the Sinhalese-dominated Sri Lankan government holding the south, and the Tamil Tigers controlling parts of the north and east. This February, the Tamil Tigers, or the LTTE as they're commonly known, and the Sri Lankan government met in Geneva for the first time in years to talk peace. But it was the problem with the paramilitaries that topped the agenda.
These acts of violence can only be characterized as a form of a shadow war, or I would call it a subversive war, where the paramilitaries and the LTT were killing each other. And in some cases, the government security forces were colluding with the armed Tamil groups.
When the situation was a little bit more unsecure, we were taking the coastal road.
Charged with overseeing the ceasefire, this Scandinavian-operated monitoring mission is concerned that these new paramilitaries may derail the entire peace process.
When they created the ceasefire agreement, they didn't foresee this scenario. What people thought was that we were going to be stopping the two forces from engagement, not assassination style, all go, lots of actors, lots of parties, third elements.
Since December, hundreds of people have been killed in escalating civil violence. I've come to Sri Lanka to meet with the major players on all sides of this conflict. SP Temel Chelvan is the head of the political wing of the Tamil Tigers.
சீர்குலைத்தது இராணுவம் இந்த ஆயுத குழுக்களை வைத்துக்கொண்டுதான் இந்த குழப்பங்களை ஏற்படுத்தினார்கள் என்றது எங்களோட கடந்த கால அனுபவம். இதை நாங்கள் இந்த பட்டறிவின் அடிப்படையில் இந்த அனுபவத்தின் அடிப்படையில் இதை சுட்டிக்காட்டி இதற்கு ஒரு தீர்வு காண வேண்டும், அல்லாவிட்டால் எங்களோட அமைதி முயற்சிகளை நிச்சயமாக தொடர முடியாது என்கின்ற ஒரு யதார்த்தத்தின் அடிப்படையில் தான்.
In principle, the government has agreed to crack down on paramilitaries operating in their zones of control. But in practice, the Secretary of Defense doesn't even believe that these armed groups exist.
If a responsible organization or person says, okay, there are groups, then at least show us where, what area, how, what are the, at least, who told you, and give some clues for us to look into, because we have tried and we are successful to prevent these groups operating in these areas.
Do you believe that there are armed groups operating in government territory?
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
For the ceasefire monitors, these denials are making an already difficult situation worse.
If we talk about the armed elements, we don't call them paramilitaries because we don't actually have solid proof that they are being logistically helped by the army, or but we know that they're there.
Whether they're called paramilitaries or not, these groups are not hard to find. I've come to the divided town of Batiklo in eastern Sri Lanka to try to make contact with the largest of these armed elements, known as the Karana Group. The Karana Group has chosen Batiklo as the headquarters for its new political wing, which is called the TMVP. After more than a week of discreet inquiries, I'm able to meet with the head of the Karana Group's political wing, a man calling himself Pradeep. This is the first time that he's given a television interview.
அந்த வகையில் இராணுவ பிரிவு, அரசியல் பிரிவு, புலனாய்வு பிரிவு, நிதிப்பிரிவு போன்ற அடிப்படை ஒரு இயக்கத்துக்குரிய கட்டமைப்புகளை கொண்டிருக்குது. அதில் கூடுதலாக நாங்கள் இராணுவ பிரிவு வச்சிருந்தார்கள். மற்றது நாங்கள் பிரத்யேகமாக அதுக்குள்ள
These are Karana Group soldiers with weapons that were captured from the Tamil Tigers 2 years ago. There are now suggestions that the Karana Group has received more weapons and support from either the Sri Lankan or the Indian government. Pradeep denies this.
இந்திய அரசாங்கத்தால் உதவி செய்யப்படுதாமன்னு சொல்லி, ஆனால் அப்படி நான் அறிஞர்கள் எந்த உதவியும் நிதி உதவி மட்டுமில்லை, இந்த வேறு ஆயுத உதவிகளோ வேறு அனுசரணை எந்த உதவியும் இதுவரை எங்களுக்கு வேறு எந்த ஒரு அரசாங்கத்தாலையும் கிடைக்கல. அது இலங்கை அரசாங்கத்தாலையும் இல்லை, இந்திய அரசாங்கத்தாலையும் இல்லை, வேறு எந்த வெளிநாட்டு நிறுவனங்களும் எங்களுக்கு உதவி செய்யலை. எங்களோட சொந்த சுயமான.
The government not only claims that it hasn't sponsored the Karana Group. In our interview, the Secretary of Defense refuses to accept that the Karana Group exists. They're clearly the biggest threat to the peace at the moment. So I'm just wondering what the government's doing.
If what my understanding, I don't know. You said you visited.
Yeah, and I did. They claim they have 1,500 cadres operating. They claim they have a military wing.
Did you see to yourself these people?
I did. I saw probably about 30 people armed with rocket-propelled grenade launchers, AK-47s, an enormous amount of small arms.
This is the other issue. Now they claim they are Karana Group. And that is the other problem. LTT can do the same thing. They can take you to a camp, LTT camp, and show them, here, look, we are Karana Group.
The Karana Group is named after its leader, Colonel Karana. Both the colonel and all his men were once Tamil Tiger soldiers. Karana was the Tigers' eastern commander and a brilliant military strategist. His military achievements earned him the title Aman, which can mean priest or God.
மற்றது யானை பெருந்தளத்தை கணமான தலைமைத்துவம் தான் கைப்பற்றினது. தேசிய குரு அந்த படை நடவடிக்கை எதிர்த்து மேலே கணமாக தான் முறியடித்தது. அதாவது இலங்கையில் சிங்கள இராணுவத்தால் முன்னெடுக்கப்பட்ட மிகப்பெரிய தாக்குதல்களையும் மிகப்பெரிய தளங்களையும் கைப்பற்றிய கரணமாக தான்.
2 years ago, Colonel Karana led 6,000 Tamil Tiger soldiers in a mutiny against the northern leadership, based in Vani. They took with them all the weapons they had under their control. The colonel claimed that he left the Tamil Tigers because his forces in the east had taken the brunt of the casualties in the war with the government. But his men were never promoted to leadership positions within the Tiger hierarchy. In other words, Karana's men were being used as cannon fodder. This rare footage is the only television interview that the colonel ever gave, taken 2 years ago at the time of the split.
நாங்கள் இங்கே பெற்றோர்கள் கொடுத்த வாக்குறுதி ஒன்று இருக்குது. அதாவது உங்களோட பிள்ளைகளை நாங்கள் யுத்தத்துக்கு சேர்க்குறோம், ஆனால் எவரையும் நாங்கள் வன்னிக்கு அனுப்ப மாட்டோம். இவ்வாறான காரணங்களுக்காக தனித்து செயற்படுறதாக முடிவெடுத்திருக்கு.
When Karuna defected, the Tigers were ruthless in attacking the rebels. They chased them out of Tiger territory into sanctuaries in government zones. But even there, they killed them if they could. These men were Karuna's soldiers caught by the Tigers in a safe house in Colombo. Those who survived have now regrouped. And after some negotiating, I'm taken to the Karuna Group's training camp in the jungle outside of Batiklo. They admit that they've engaged the Tigers throughout this area.
அது பாரத பிரதேசத்தில் எங்களோட முகாமை தாக்க வந்தாங்க நாங்கள் இடமறைச்சி திருப்பி தாக்கிய நேரத்தில் அவங்க பின்வாங்கி போனாங்கள பின்தொடர்ந்து போய் அவங்களோட முகாமுக்குள்ளே அவங்க போன நேரத்தில் அவங்களோட முகாமை அப்படி ஒரு சில முகாம்களை நாங்கள் பாக பேசியத்தில் முற்றுகையிட்டு தாக்கி அழிச்சிருக்கிறோம். அந்த வகையில் இப்போ அண்மையில் பாகர பகுதியில் கட்டுமுறிவு மதுரங்குளம் போன்ற பகுதியில் உள்ள முகாம்களை எங்களால் தாக்கி அழிக்கப்பட்டு வேண்டியும்.
These are the first images of the Karuna Group's camps, and the first time any journalist has been allowed inside. As soon as I arrive, I can see that despite the government's denials, the Karuna Group's military wing is clearly real. At the camp, a group of soldiers is brought out to meet me. They claim that they've just escaped from the Tigers and surrendered today to the Karuna Group. I know that this is stage managed because I've already received news that these same men had given themselves up 2 days before. Not surprisingly, they all tell similar stories of abuse at the hands of their old Tiger commanders.
நான் மதுரங்கணி குளத்தில் பாகர பிரதேசம் மதுரங்கணி குளத்தில் இருந்து தொழிற்சி செய்திருந்த மாதிரி பன்னிப்புலிகள் வந்து என்னைய பிடிச்சி கர்ணாமண்டா பாட்டிக்கு நான் சாப்பாடை கொடுத்தேன்னு சொல்லி சங்கிலியில் போட்டுட்டு உடுமானம் எல்லாம் கலட்டி கட்டையில் ஏற்றி அடித்தவங்க பொறுக்க எங்கன்னா காலு மேலாது இடுப்பு உடைஞ்சது எனக்கு அடியில் அவங்களோட அடியில் இந்த கை உடைஞ்சது இப்படி அதில் இருந்து போட்டு தான் எனக்கு அவங்களோட துவ காமிச்சு கட்டையெல்லாம் இருந்தது அதெல்லாம் சொல்லி பார்த்தேன் கேட்கல எங்கள் தான் வேணும் எங்களோட சொல்லி இப்படி ஆக்கினப்படுத்தினவங்க குண்டு சாலை குத்தினவங்க.
The commander soon asks that these soldiers surrender their weapons for the camera, and I politely record the 2-day-old scene being reenacted. The Tigers have consistently claimed that the Karuna Group operates from inside government areas.
ஆனால் அது இராணுவ கட்டுப்பாட்டு பிரதேசத்துக்குள் இருந்து தான் அவர்கள் இயங்கிக் கொண்டிருக்கிறார்கள். இராணுவ முகாம்களுக்கு இருந்தும் அண்மையில் தான் அவர்கள் செயற்பட்டு கொண்டிருக்கிறார்கள். இந்த யுத்த நிறுத்த விதிமுறையின்படி 2 தரப்பினுடைய கட்டுப்பாட்டு பிரதேசத்துக்குள் வன்முறையற்ற சூழலை உருவாக்கும் பொறுப்பு 2 தரப்புக்குமே பொறுப்பானது.
On the way back from the Karuna Group's camp, I'm able to pay closer attention to the landscape. Their camps are set up along the ceasefire line, virtually in no man's land. I'm later dropped off by the Karuna Group commander a mere 100 meters from a Sri Lankan army checkpoint. After explaining what I've seen to the Secretary of Defense, he admits that the government can't easily disarm the Karuna Group at this time.
Now what we are trying to do is bring peace in the whole process. Now you think if there is an armed group, that armed group will allow the government or any other group to disarm them without fighting? Then you are bringing war again, whether it is LTT or another group. You are bringing the war again. We are trying to stop the war.
No one has been able to prove that the government has aided the paramilitaries like the Karuna Group. But there's no question that these parties have a common enemy in the Tamil Tigers.
எங்களுக்கும் எங்களுடைய மக்களுக்கும் ஒரு சந்தேகத்தை ஏற்படுத்தி இருக்கிறது. இவர்கள் மீண்டும் இந்த அரசியல் தீர்வை, இந்த அமைதி வழியிலான முயற்சிகளை சீர்குலைத்து மீண்டும் ஒரு யுத்தத்தை திணிப்பார்களோ என்கின்ற ஒரு அச்சத்தையும் சந்தேகத்தையும் ஏற்படுத்திய நிலையில் எங்களுடைய மக்களும் நாங்களும் அதை எதிர்கொள்வதற்கு தயாராவதுன்றது யதார்த்தமானது. அதான் நடந்திருக்கின்றது நான் நினைக்கிறேன்.
The situation is so fragile that it takes very little to kind of kick things up again, and that's our main concern. Is that the less violations and the less attacks and the less, we don't need any big attacks now because it's so volatile. And as you said, you mentioned about what they really want. Are they just buying time? The problem here, the danger that we saw in January was that they don't necessarily want war, but this is escalating into a war. This is actually a snowball effect. And that's the real danger. It might not be a decision taken, we're going to go back to war, but it can just escalate into a scenario where it's impossible to go back.
Because of the dangerous uncertainty on the island, all parties have resumed full-scale preparation for war. The Tigers are bringing thousands of civilians to their capital Kilinochchi for basic military training. They are also expanding the secretive Sea Tigers, the Tiger Naval Wing. More disturbingly, the Tamil Tiger High Commander Prabhakaran has reportedly recruited 2,500 suicide soldiers like these, known as the Black Tigers.
Are you worried that the LTTE's military buildup is a sign that they're not genuine?
Yeah, it's worried. Then I'm thinking, why do they do this if they were genuine?
The Sri Lankan armed forces are also engaged in military buildup.
Yes, we are a sovereign nation. See, this is the other point that everybody has missed, I think. We are a sovereign nation, and we have to protect our sovereignty, integrity, and we are there to protect the country.
And while the government and the Tigers trade accusations, the tension for the regular people in the streets of Batiklo is rising every day.
Well, that's the home.
Ilan Kovan has lived here most of his life, and he has seen war come and go. He runs a home for girls orphaned or severely affected by war. But living here is another legacy of Sri Lanka's brutal conflict: child soldiers from the Tamil Tiger Army.
You may understand that there was some dispute in the east within the LTT, and there was a split sort of thing, and then around 4,000 child soldiers were released. When these children were released, no organization ventured forward. They stepped forward to help these children because they were scared. Now, what is the situation? There are two split groups, and where are we? So they were scared to look after these children, and this plight of the children was in grave danger. And even international organizations, they did not help them much. There was a question. They all were scared, and they were thinking what to do.
Show me the other one.
There are 80 girls here, and only if you look closely can you see the battle scars that set the child soldiers apart from the orphans. These girls are now being sent to regular schools, given therapy, and tutored in art and in sport. But Ilan Kovan is not naive as to the risks that they all face. In case of shelling, he's built a bunker to keep the girls safe.
If there is shelling, we experienced shelling long time back before the MOU was made. Even shells have fallen closer to this in this place. So if a shell falls on these sandbags, it will not break and come through and endanger the children inside.
Since war preparations have begun again, the Tamil Tigers have returned to recruiting child soldiers. These girls are at high risk of being forced back into military service. because they've already been trained and many already have field experience.
If war breaks out, there is great possibility of children being conscripted. War cannot prolong forever. War will come to an end. When war comes to an end, there will be thousands and thousands of child soldiers coming back to normal life stream. And all these NGOs and all these people, nobody is worried about this, and nobody is getting prepared for that. They are getting prepared for a cyclone, they are getting prepared for a tsunami, but they are not getting prepared for a rehabilitation of child soldiers. We are doing it. So we are doing it in a very small way.
While for the time being these girls are relatively safe behind Ilankovan's closed doors, outside, the last few days have seen a series of attacks that have left more than 60 dead in the east. Recent and repeated escalations of violence have made the ceasefire agreement and the peace process itself almost irrelevant. The Tamil Tigers have now pulled out of the negotiations with the Sri Lankan government, which were scheduled to take place this week. It's clear that while the paramilitaries like the Karuna group continue to attack, the Tamil Tigers will not abandon their military buildup.
While it is dragging on, discussing, talking unnecessary issues, bringing in unnecessary issues here, then we feel that this is just for them to train them, reorganize, bring, smuggle weapons inside.
தொடர்ந்து யுத்த நிறுத்தம் என்றது வன்முறைகள் தொடரப்பட்டால் யுத்த நிறுத்தம் இல்லை. ஆகவே ஒரு தரப்பு ஒரு நிழல் யுத்தத்தை இந்த ஆயுத குழுக்களை வச்சுக்கொண்டு ஒரு தரப்பு அந்த வன்முறையை தொடர்ந்து கொண்டிருந்தால் யுத்த நிறுத்த சூழலை பேண முடியாது.
Look, every party in this whole issue has to be genuine. If we are not genuine, then it's useless trying all this process.
And while the Sri Lankan government is either unwilling or unable to remove the paramilitaries from this conflict, then a return to full-scale war seems inevitable.